Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 10, Episode 27. Now, Chris, where would you like to start today?
Fucking hell, Dave, I've been looking forward to speaking to you since I've watched this episode because this has been one of the most frustrating episodes for me. The fucking experts have got fucking bipolar or something because they are literally cherry picking who the fuck they want to fucking have a go at and who they don't. And I don't get it. I really, really don't get it because, you know, if we go in order of the show, Melinda and Leighton. Now, John, I don't know what it is, but he has a bee in his bonnet with Leighton, doesn't he? A real bee in his bonnet. And I know I've supported and stuck up for Melinda. She definitely should have been held accountable as well. They were both at fault for what happened, but for some reason, John was just laying into him, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on here.
I'm with you. Damn, I thought we were going to come in opposite here.
Sorry. No.
No, that's all right. No, because you've been defending Melinda a little bit more, and I've been more in the middle, and then sometimes on Leighton's side as well. But yeah, John just seemed to go for Leighton. As if he was Harrison. You know, he wasn't having any of it. And, like, Melinda got away scot-free with no accountability for her role in any of it. And I just thought it was bizarre. I'm like, am I being gaslit? Am I misremembering this? Was it all Leighton? And I do think, like, Leighton got hung up because he thought it was a fucking sex party. And I'm not sure if John was a bit annoyed that he rebelled so much against that challenge. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm with you. I was just surprised that Melinda just got away scot-free, and I thought she had a big hand in all of that going wrong as well this week.
Yeah, because we said to you, didn't it? For someone who hated Harrison so much, and we do see that in this episode, it was like, she was like, oh, go on then, no problem. Now, you know, Harrison, I know that Leighton didn't see this, but Harrison had already said stupid things like, oh, she might fall in love with me, you know, to Bronte and all that. And I'm like, fuck off. So it was John's way when he was saying like, but do you actually know what this was about? And I'm like, well, John, hang on. Let's think of this logically. You might not think this is fucking wife swapping 101, but anybody who's in a relationship and has been with someone for 2 months, then decide to share an apartment with someone else for 3 days. It's not like they were in separate apartments and they got together to do activities. You know, like teamwork things. Like at work, you know what it's like, Dave. You go on a course at work, 2 people fucking hate each other. They purposely put them together, don't they? Because it's like, well, you're going to work together whether you like it or not, because you have to, don't you? And you get to understand that person. Sometimes it's a great thing. That's what they're there for. You come away thinking, actually, they're a really good person. Actually, I'm misunderstood. I was wrong to judge. We all do that. So I think Leighton is right in some respects to question that, considering how venomously fucking Mel has gone at Harrison. And quite rightly, we know he's a complete wanker, and we'll talk about him later. But I sort of with Leighton on this. I was like, no. And I mean, it wasn't, none of the other experts went at Leighton. It was John, but every episode. And then I like the way it ended. I like the way they resolved it, because what makes me laugh, Dave, it was funny because it was when like Melinda's like dead standoffish, arms out, and as soon as they were like, stay, Melinda's like touching his leg like, oh yeah, everything's great. See, I want you to meet my family. I'm like, what? Fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm interested in this couple, genuinely, just to see where it goes now. Because again, if you parachuted in and you only saw that conversation, you would think Leighton was being a bit Harrison and being a bit of a dick. And we call out the blokes when we think they're being dicks. But I just don't think Leighton was, not completely, like he was a bit out of order at times. But again, it's just the thing for me is that it wasn't all him. And I just wonder, going into the next week, is that like a thing that she's going to hold over him now? You know, like, so any future argument, it's like, well, you know, John said, You have to be working on this stuff kind of thing. And honestly, Chris, if that was me, I'd be like, you know what? This relationship is now done because you can never get past that. If you're always going to come back to this same shit and blame me 100%, this is not for me. So I suspect, I don't think there's mileage in this couple anymore.
No, I don't. And I think John did realise at the end, because he said, look, he's not done with malice. In other words, saying, you're not Harrison. Because you're right. It was framed like he was some gaslighting control freak. And all he does is he thinks of things analytically because he's a very, very clever man, isn't he? That's what he does as a job. He's a CEO of a company. He's not, he thinks things like a business transaction. That's not right. He's not been horrible. He's been a good guy, hasn't he? Especially the way Melinda slagged him off at the start. She fucking slayed him.
She was horrible, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's basically saying he looked like fucking Shrek or something, wasn't she? You know what I mean? It's like, he's not a bad-looking lad, is he? You know what I mean? He's in good shape. I know he's tatted up and everything. So am I, Dave. Not wrong with that. But he looks after himself. And I was like, there's no need for that. You know what I mean? Because Melinda's a good-looking girl, but it's not fucking natural, Dave. Let's be honest. So it's just like, you don't need to be like that. So I'm with you. I think this was just a stretch too far for me to stick up for Melinda there, because she definitely should have some accountability for that. And there was nothing again. It just seemed to be because she laid on a bit of a sob story about you not listening to me. That was it. See ya. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it did feel that way to me as well. But who gets in there with the sob story first? But let's see. But Chris, what did you reckon to Ollie and Tanny? Because usually we get to this point in the commitment ceremony and we're just like, yeah, let's skip on past these because they're having a fun time. They're the throwaway couple that we can tell will actually work, and so they're all good. But there was a teeny-weensy wobble this week.
Yeah, I thought Ollie was very good, Dave. He showed some proper vulnerability, didn't he? You say, like, this test that we had, I realised, like, am I enough? What's she going to be doing? He just felt a bit, but he was good that he actually expressed it. And I thought he was good of him, Dave, to be fair. I was like, you know what? Fair play. These two are definitely Love's Young Dream on this show. They're the only ones who are believing, to be honest. And the fact that he had and she even said that, he said, I don't feel good enough for anybody. And she was like, but you're good enough for me. And I was like, you know what? Fair play. I know there's no fucking financial reward, but I was like, just give her the fucking money now. These two seem like they've got their heads screwed on together as a couple. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really nice, to be fair, Dave, amongst all the fucking shit that we're going to talk about. But there you go.
But like I say, it was the first time there was anything remotely negative. But then you say it's not necessarily about, what is it Rocky says? Something about no matter how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you get up and hit back or something.
Keep moving forward, Dave. I keep moving
right forward. Me. That's the one.
Right
That's
behind
the one.
Me. I told, just a bit of a side note. I told Sam the other day, because we went to a funeral, unfortunately. A friend of ours lost his mum on Friday. And we were talking, because we grew up in like a church and all that Catholic church. We were like, we're not doing any of that. We're having our favourite songs, everything. I'm not that I'm on my way out, Dave. But I did say to Sam, you know what I want reading out at my funeral? And you'll be, hopefully, Dave, I'm going to live forever.
It's the Rocky quote,
It's the Rocky quote, yeah. I said, that's it. That's it. Put that on. I want a load of United songs to make everyone wear fucking United shirts, even you, Dave. You know what I mean? So,
well, I just hope I go first.
Yeah, you'll make me wear a Liverpool shirt, you bastard.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought of it, but that is a fucking great idea. And also, I'm gonna, fuck this healthy living. I'm gonna tear the arse out of it now.
Can you get Chris up to sing You'll Never Walk Alone? Fuck off. You're writing it down now, yeah. I can see it.
That was a gem. Absolute gem of an idea, so I love it.
With so morbid. Sorry, Dave, but no, yeah, it was there, and I'll go with that. But I'll tell you what, Dave, just moving on slightly, fucking Evelyn, right? Evelyn and Rupert get up, and I'm like, all right, Evelyn has been the hero we needed with Harrison, hasn't she? She doesn't stand any messing. We know she's doing it for screen time. We know she's played the game. She's been on Big Brother. She's done other reality shows. She has got that experience of what to do so she gets that amount of time for her profile, for her Instagram follow, everything. And I'm like, all right. And Fairy goes, I want to make a statement. And I'm like, fuck me. These two have split up about Harrison. And I'm like, what? And then she turned into the expert then and just starts laying into Harrison. Now, Harrison, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but he'd done nothing in this episode towards her. And she just turned and Rupert sat there like a fucking mannequin, just like, I don't know what's going on here. But then like Mel sort of backed her up and I'm like, fucking hell, Evelyn, are you that desperate for screen time? You're now going to Harry, because I didn't understand where that I know where it's come from because we've seen it every episode. But for this, it was just like, I want to make a statement. I'm like, what are you, some football manager who's been sacked? Some fucking statement here? Honestly, what did you think of that? Because I thought that was just absolutely self-indulgent bullshit, to be honest.
I felt like it fell flat. I felt like it. We saw that on the preview in the last episode. You know, we're thinking, oh, she's going to call him a fucking arsehole or something like that. Yeah. She's absolutely going to tear him a new one. And now it was just having a little bit of a whine. And it's like, well, you could have done that at the dinner party or, you know, you could have done that anywhere. Did you need the experts as an audience? You know, to just make sure you got that screen time. It was weird. I got, my expectation was up high and it just didn't deliver, to be honest. But, you know, it did for her because it got a bit more screen time, didn't it? But I don't think it was a particularly good roast, if I'm honest, Chris. I was expecting more.
I was. And Harrison's like, even said to him, he's like, don't play the fucking, he was saying to him, don't play the sex card. That's what he said. Grow up, didn't he? He was like, we sort of saw Harrison's temper because I think he was thinking, because he knows when he's going to get a pelters off people because he literally just says, I don't want to talk about it. With this one, he caught him off guard. We got a bit of the real Harrison, but as much as I can't stand the guy, and we'll get on to that fucking absolute bell end soon, but I just thought it was uncalled for. I was like, I don't get it. So anyway, I've said my piece, Dave. That was absolute nonsense.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking, actually? Because, you know, they both write Stay as well, don't they, Evelyn and Rupert?
Yeah.
And I was thinking back to that was it the first or second episode where we saw them two? And she got into the bath with him. He is basically a mute. He can't speak at all. But she gets in with this tiny little bikini on, you know, and they're in the bath together. And he's just awkward as fuck. And it didn't really hit me as much in that episode of just, well, that bikini thing, that wasn't for Rupert, was it? That was for the cameras. That was for everyone at home. You know what I mean? I don't know. In this little grandstanding piece, that's what came back to my mind. And so, look, she knows what she's doing. She's a career reality dating celebrity, quote unquote. So yeah, but I'll be honest, Chris, don't really care. I mean, we see about the preview, don't we? And you know, you can tell they've had sex because Rupert's like, "Oh, I'm definitely out of the friend zone now." You know, it's like, still don't care, mate.
Yeah, that's the one, Dave. So moving on, what did you think then of our great long-haired fucking carpenter, Dave, who lives fucking in the middle of the jungle? Cam and Lyndall. So again, Cam, vague as fuck, dodgy as fuck, Dave. I think he's got about 3 different wives in these fucking remote areas, Dave.
I reckon he has. He's probably got different families, hasn't he? You know, and the thing is, like, the time scale changes. Do you remember, Chris, in years ago with Microsoft, you know, you'd copy a file or something and it's like, it's going to be 20 minutes. Oh no, 30 seconds. Wait, 4 hours. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it's just making up. It's like, what the fuck? That's like him. He's just, I could be away for a month. Oh no, I could be away for a year. And tonight it was like, oh, well, it could be 3 or 4 months. Which one? You know, and then he's making out to the experts like there's some kind of compromise. Like, you know, he's saying that, oh, well, yeah, I could probably swing a week off or something like that. I mean, this is a lot to ask someone to put up with. And I thought, to be honest, everything that he was saying, he was just full of shit. I didn't believe any of it. He's trying to push Lyndall away. He's trying to get her to make the decision that, oh, this isn't worth it, because he hasn't got the spine to actually just say, look, I'm not into this and I don't want the rest of the screen time, thank you. So I just think it's weak. And I think he was almost gaslighting Lyndall there, wasn't he? Because, he's now making it sound as if he's willing to compromise, whereas everything we've seen before that, he's not.
No, and you're completely right. Again, I completely agree. Why the hell aren't the experts holding him accountable again? You know what I mean?
I know.
On the dinner party, they talk a good game, and they were like, well, what's he doing here? Alexandra, he said at the start he wanted to fucking, he'd leave his job and he'd travel, and he'd give up all this stuff, and then he's just not, and it's no, and they were all saying it, but yet they get in front of him, and Cam just does this fucking docile look with his fucking flowing locks, and they go, all right, mate, see you next week, no problem. I mean, I think it's dubious that they both said stay, Dave. I thought Lyndall should have said fucking I'm gone, because I just don't, there's no mileage in this. If you take a step back, what is the logic behind this relationship? There isn't any, is there?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to give Lyndall the benefit of the doubt. I did think she could quite easily say leave, but I don't believe him.
No,
it's like he's made his mind up already, and he's just trying to do that thing where you're just a bit of a shit boyfriend, so they'll break up with you. I'm just not buying it. But they get to stay on the screen for a little bit longer. It's not so sick of half of these couples, to be honest, Chris. Now I'm not sure if they're in the top half of couples I'm sick of. But yeah, I am getting slightly bored of the. Well, there's no compromise at all. This is going nowhere.
Yeah,
there's no eureka moment. There's no nothing really. So I guess I'm just waiting for the affair or something to break.
It's true. That's true. Absolutely true. And I'll tell you what, Dave, he's about the couples. Now, one half of the next couple I really like in Duncan. Alyssa, I can't fucking stand Dave. Now, I'm going to start calling her Boris Johnson. I said it in the last episode, Dave, because as soon as she gets challenged on anything, Alexandra was saying to her, listen to what he's saying. She just goes, I've got a kid, Boris Johnson. Let's get over to Ukraine. Yeah, everything's falling apart around me. It's your fault. Let's go and see Zelensky over in fucking Ukraine. Absolute default is, I've got a kid. What? Duncan even said your kid comes first. I told you to go. And she sits there, fucking fake tears are come. She's got the onion in that fucking little handkerchief. She's got the tears come out. She did not like being challenged one bit. She did not like being told that she's being unreasonable. But they don't go at her, do they?
No.
They don't go at her like they do just because she's putting the fucking tears on. She gets away with it and they're being that sympathetic. And he's like, no, she's an utter fucking bellend. She needs telling. She's not being reasonable with Duncan one bit. He has to be reasonable with her having a child. I completely get that. And I completely understand why she'd be off guard on that. A guard would be up. But he's gone too far now. And every time when she's in the wrong, it's just, let's just default to the kid. It's fucking bollocks.
Yeah. I have a child.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah. What are you doing here then? I don't know. It is weird. I agree. I don't like her at all. I think she's incredibly judgy. She's got a warped view. She would be an absolute headfuck to anyone because you can see again the way she twists events that have happened when she recounts things that have happened to other people in the group and whatever. You're like, but that isn't what we saw. That's completely different, and that's not an editing thing. That is just we literally saw you having that conversation, and it's different from the one you're describing now. And when again, Duncan, he's being vulnerable, isn't he? Saying about how it did make him cry. It's like, well, that puts me in a difficult position, doesn't it? That makes me feel rejected. And Alessandra is trying, but I do agree it's with the kid gloves. She's trying to help her see. She's like, but listen to what Duncan is saying. But she's not having any of it. So nothing of what Alessandra said actually got through as far as I'm concerned. I'd be very, very surprised. And all I think we're going to see in the next episode, or whenever we see a bit more of them two, is how Duncan didn't share with her that he cried when she left. Yeah. And let's face it, that isn't the thing. You're just recounting basic facts like, okay, she left to go see her kid. We know other people like Shannon, like fucking what's his name, who's in love with the ocean.
Oh, Dan.
Flipper. Like he fucking buggers off, doesn't he, to see his kid, and then palms him off on someone else while he goes to the pub. We know people get let out to go and see family and stuff. So this idea that she's been separated for so long, she was an absolute twat to Duncan. That is what happened. It's not the fact that she left to go and see her son. She was a complete fucking knobhead.
Yeah.
So none of that was sort of brought up. And so, yeah, I agree. I'm just done with her. And I did see there was some articles saying, Duncan should be the next Australian Bachelor. And I think that's the case. I mean, I certainly hope for his case that they don't end up together.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be a good call, actually. Very, very good call. If we see a random scene where he's got like 3 kids and he's pissing about like we did with fucking Clayton from nowhere in the middle of that Bachelor season, then we know he's on for the Bachelor, Dave. So yeah. I'm with you. But Dave, come on. The fucking couple nobody cares about, nobody's believing, just got worse for me. Bronte and Harrison, they saved them to the end. I thought we'd seen a bit of Mel having a pop at Harrison, didn't we, at the start of the episode? There's a bit of a preview, and I thought, and on the preview from Wednesday, and I'm thinking, they're going to go here. They're going to go. Bronte's out. It starts off, Harrison was talking utter shit about boundaries, and I'm thinking, all right, hang on, he's reflecting on himself. Oh, no, it was all Bronte's fault then. Yeah. Everything was Bronte's fault. He went round the houses on like a 2-minute fucking monologue and then got to the point of basically blaming Bronte, which everyone was like, jaw on the floor. Mel was like, no, you can't do this. You can't keep doing it. And then he forgets, doesn't he? Because he called her a fucking fake fucking gaslighter. And then she's like, no, I don't believe you. I don't believe that. But he remembered everything else. But I tell you, I mean, what do you think of all that first before we get to the end bit? Because fuck me, was I annoyed watching these two.
I like the fact that Mel said you can't play the amnesia card, because I'm sure I said something similar. He did a Dr. Drake Ramore, didn't he, when he was when they were at the retreat, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't remember." He just has this, it'd be terrible if it came out and he's got some weird fucking condition where he forgets stuff, but none of it is sincere at all. But I think I know where you're going, because, Chris, we love this series. But I have to say, I'm totally bored with this couple now, because they are taking the piss like no other couple that I've seen before on this. And, they have a go at each other, and then it gets close to the final decision. And then they're like, yeah, well, there's enough here. I want to stay. Like, fuck off. I mean... It just royally fucked me off there, because both of them are as fake as each other, and then they're giving it. Oh yeah, we want to see Harrison, in Sydney and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, fuck off, Bronte, fuck off, Harrison. You are just taking the piss out of the whole show, out of everyone around, and it's not fun. We like to laugh at you, by the way. We don't like to laugh with you, and no one's laughing with you or at you. So, yeah, honestly, I'm done with that couple. Even more than, I was already done with them. Now I'm super done with them.
Yeah, and I think you've gone a bit easier. I wanted to lay into these two fuckers. I want to have a go at the experts, because I'm like, how have they slipped through the net, these two? Because it's... At this point, the experts should be stepping him and just kicking him off. I mean, Mel did allude to that with the questioning at the end, like, how have you come to this decision? And Bronte's there with her fucking eyes going, oh, well, he's a Sydney boy. I want to take him to fucking Perth and see. And I'm like, fuck off. I'm like, he has been an absolute, I'm going to say it, but an absolute twat with you. And he's been horrible. Even after she said stay, Lyndall interjected and said what he said about wearing a bikini and showing off and everything. And Harrison went, yeah, I did say that. And she pretends that she's fucking not bothered, but you can see that it hurts. But because she's a fucking desperado, fake influencer wannabe, she'll fucking take anything from Harrison. I'm pretty sure when this is all finished, she will absolutely never speak to this guy again. She'll be doing articles, interviews about how she was treated, how he manipulated her. Bull fucking shit. She's done a blinder here because she's going to have a career that is completely undeserved because she's in on this. We've said it for weeks. It's fucking bollocks. And I think that we called Paul, didn't we? We were having a bit of a discussion, laughing, weren't we, on Facebook about like your 6-month diary reminder with Paul from the UK. I think he's coming up, Paul Brunson's. And funny enough, I was watching TV on Friday in the UK and he was on Lorraine Kelly as talking about relationships, and I heard the voice and I'm like, oh, it's fucking Paul, Mr. Smooth again. And so
fucking Poundland John.
Yeah, Poundland John. Yeah, Harrison's just been the gaslighter. Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, well done there, Harrison. Yeah, no
it's
problem.
all about love. Bronte, you should really be just opening up to Harrison.
He's a great guy. Yeah, okay, Paul, no problem. But so fucking... They absolutely should be held to task for this because they should just interject like they did with Josh and Melissa and that and just go, you know what? You're making a mockery of this show. We're losing credibility completely because you're turning it into basically, them two are turning it into The Bachelors for me, Dave. An absolute franchise where as long as you don't do something too controversial, you have got a lot of legs and a lot of financial clout. And that's exactly what they're doing. And to be honest, I think them two, for me, as much as I've loved this series and it pisses all over Love Island, you know, I tell everyone to watch Maths. I really do. People who are catching up from the UK now, friends, family, I'm like, you've got to watch Maths. It's unbelievable. But people are going to get to these episodes when they catch up in the UK and they're going to be like, this is fucking fake as fuck. This is bullshit. You go on social media and everyone is saying, I don't think fucking... I've seen loads of people like slagging off Harrison quite rightly. He's horrible, blah, blah, blah. But then people are saying, I'm not having a go at Harrison because she's in on it and nobody's saying anything. And it was the fact that Mel's like, you can't speak to Bronte like that. Well, no, he can't speak to Bronte like that. It's disgusting. But yous are allowing these suits to just take the piss out of you. They can't see that the experts are being made to look fucking fools because they're allowing this fake fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is worse than what we've seen on Love Island, isn't it? I think, in terms of just being fake. And I think, even though you know, like, a lot of the situations and whatever are set up, you know, and you've got the producers there and they're giving them a little steer to do certain things, but they're not acting out scenes. You can tell because, you know, acting is actually difficult because when you see it done badly, you know, you realise, these guys who make it look natural are actually pretty good. Whereas, so, you know, most of the people on these reality dating shows, you can tell it's a lot of it's set up, but, you know, it's just maybe a little bit of an exaggerated version of themselves. You know, they might be playing up to the camera a bit, but fundamentally it's still them. And I think the difference is with this couple is it is so fake. It's not an accentuated version or an exaggerated version, of this couple and how they feel. Just everything is nonsense. Everything is fake. You know, I honestly think Bronte probably cannot stand Harrison.
I agree. Yeah.
But she has to keep up this facade to stick around. You know, she's already been strategizing before she's come into the show, so she knows what she's going to do if she ends up with someone like Harrison, and, you know, it turns out he's got people on the outside before. So yeah, it's that. I genuinely think these win the award for the fakest couple in any show that we've watched.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. And I'm with you, as I said before, she doesn't like him, but she's so fucking desperate for that fame that she's just putting up with any old shit from Harrison. And maybe that's why Harrison's being like this. Maybe he's trying to expose her because he's like, I know she's fucking taking the... I'm not saying it's right because he's an absolute wanker, but I'm just like, I can't get my head around it. Honestly, Dave, I was thinking Bronte's going to come in here with a bit of dignity. He's probably going to say stay, so she's going to have to stay anyway. And she'll say leave, but we'll believe that she doesn't like him and she wants an out. And when she went into this fucking speech, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I was messaging you going, I've never been so angry ever on a reality show. Because I'm like, it dispels disbelief. It's just completely unreal. It's the most unreal bit of a reality show I've ever seen, if that's even makes sense. I am out on these more than I've ever been on any couple because, like you say, scenarios are set up, the cameras are there. We'd laugh about like when someone knocks on the door on The Bachelor and they open the door and the next minute the camera's over the person who's in the room over their shoulder. There's no camera behind the person who's knocked on the door, like a film scene and all that. We get it. They take shots and stuff. We know that. We know on Love Island that the lads are told to sit on one area, the girls are told to sit on another. We know there's the voice from above. We know that people get locked in the rooms while they fucking transform the villa and do some stupid game outside. That's fine. I can go with it. We call it out if it seems fake. But this, for me, has just been I'd probably say it's probably one of the worst fucking things I've seen on a reality show for a long time. For just completely, a couple that I love talking about, it's just completely took me out of maths, this, unfortunately.
It has. And we have praised maths so much over the last couple of years, haven't we?
Yeah.
The UK and the Australian one. And we heard that this was the most explosive season. And it started off, pretty well. I think the first, 10, 15 episodes were fantastic. And every single episode we're like chomping at the bit to talk to each other and dissect it a little bit. But I am getting a bit of maths fatigue now, right? Not the same way as Love Island, but just with these two, I think if it wasn't for these two, I could get invested. Even like the likes of Duncan and Alyssa, I could get worked up about it, and that's different though to being just, Harrison and Bronte. And again, when she puts the stay thing up, it's like she turns into a children's presenter. She's got that big shit-eating grin on her face and it just totally falls. Yeah, love him. And it's just such bullshit. So yeah, it's been a while since maths has had any negative points for us. But certainly for me, the longer these two stay on, it becomes not entertaining for me anymore.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see what happens now, but fucking hell. It's going to, I just think I'm just going to concentrate on everyone else now. These two are just a pair of fucking jokers. So anyway, Dave, amazing. And another start to the week. We are like 7 episodes. Well, no, I think we're 2 weeks to go, aren't we? Because we've got the reunion.
Yeah,
so we're going to go. Yeah, about 2 weeks to go. But it's been a great series. Unfortunately, that's just a stretch too far for me. So, yeah, I'll still be slagging it off, Dave, and calling stuff out. But yeah, it is what it is. So good start to the week as we've talked for half an hour about this show again, which is brilliant. So if you want to send in the emails on maths, guys, send them in cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast over on Facebook. Come and join us over there. We do appreciate it. At some point, we will hit 1,000 friends over there. So please come and join us, guys.
Amazing.
It will be amazing. I think that'll be a couple of series yet, Dave, unless we get a massive surge. But I really appreciate that we hit 500 and we're steadily getting up to 600 as well, which is good. If you do want to support us a little bit more, get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. So the first roll call of honour for this week is big thanks to Larissa, Helen, Alex, Macy, Nicholas Schmave, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Kate, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Susan, Hennessy, Tracy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Ken Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys, for the support. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to go off, Dave, and make a Harrison and Bronte voodoo doll set.
Awesome. So, like I say, good start to the week. But you know what, Chris? When we get to Wednesday, and then that's it. And until next Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
I had such a great time this last few days, just not having to watch Love Island. So it was good to be back, though. But anyway, sir, thank you very much for that. Thanks to everyone out there for listening. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.